praying to the Lord to remove the effulgence so that he can see the beautiful face of the Lord, the form of the Lord. Praying to the Lord to remove the effulgence so that he can see the beautiful face of the Lord. Okay. So the living entities are also differentiated expansions of the Lord's self. We are also, there is Ansha, we are Ansha of the Lord. We are differentiated expansions. Sometimes we are called the, plenary expansions. There is Ansha, Vibhin Ansha. We are a Vibhin Ansha. Swansha and Vibhin Ansha, right? Swansha is the Lord's own expansion, and Vibhin Ansha means the Lord's differentiated expansion. There are two words. And because some of them desire to be lords and imitate the Supreme Lord, so some jivas want to be lords and imitate he allows them to enter into the cosmic creation with the option to fully utilize their propensity to lord it over nature. So Krishna allows us to come into this material world so that we can carry out our desire to be the Lord. Because of the presence of his parts and parcels, the living entities, the entire phenomenal world is stirred into action and reaction. So because we are superior to matter, the whole world we can manipulate, right? Krishna says there are two energies. There is para prakriti and there is apara prakriti. So para prakriti, the jiva, can manipulate and he can do so many activities in this material world. So there is karma is going on. There is a karmic cycle going on for everybody. And collective karma, individual karma, all this. Everybody is having a whole bag load of karma with them. So there is action and reactions going on in this world. Somebody is killing somebody, somebody is marrying somebody, somebody is having a child, right? This is all because of karmic activities. These are all going on. So many actions and reactions are going on in this world. Thus, the living entities are given full facilities to lord it over material nature, but the ultimate controller is the Lord himself in his plenary feature as Paramatma, the super soul, is one of the Purushas. So Krishna gives us the facility to act out our desires. We are called Ishvara also, but the Paramishwar is Krishna. Thus, there is a gulf of difference between the living entity and the controlling Lord Paramatma, the soul and the super soul. Atma and Paramatma is not. Sometimes people say Atma, Paramatma, sub same. Prabhupada saying no. Atma so Paramatma. Some people say Atma so Paramatma. Means Atma and Paramatma is same. No, it's not same. There's gulf of difference, Prabhupada is saying. Paramatma is the controller and the Atma is controlled. Therefore, they are in different categories. Because the Paramatma fully cooperates with the Atma, he is known as the constant companion of the living being. So all this we have heard that Paramatma is always accompanying Atma. Is there super soul in the spiritual world?
No.
No?
No.
Why?
Because we all in our I mean the spiritual form, and the spiritual form Paramatma is, because Krishna is there, right? Krishna himself in the form of personal form, he is present there. So in the material world, when we come in this material modes of nature, then Krishna accompanied in the form of Paramatma, but he is as a person there in the spiritual world. I mean, that's what I know.
Yeah. Because there Bhagavan is there directly. Here we have forgotten Bhagavan, so he accompanies us to guide us and to help us. But there in the spiritual world, you are in front of Bhagavan, so you don't need the Paramatma with you. But in the material world, because we are separated, so Krishna kindly comes as Paramatma in the hope that someday, this Atma will turn to me, and he gives guidance also from within the heart. So in the material world, there is Paramatma. In the spiritual world, there is no Paramatma. Okay. The all-pervading feature of the Lord, which exists in all circumstances of waking and sleeping, as well as in potential states, and from which Jiva Shakti is generated as both conditioned and liberated souls, is known as Brahman. So that energy which pervades everything. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina. In my unmanifest state, I pervade the entire is known as Brahman. Here it says, from which Jiva Shakti is generated as both conditioned and liberated souls, is known as Brahman. Sometimes people say we were never in the spiritual world, we were in the Brahma Jyoti. And that is from where we came into this material world. Some people say like that Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Jaiva Dharma, he says like that, we were never in the spiritual world. So here Prabhupada says, from the Jiva Shakti is generated as both conditioned and liberated souls, is known as Brahman. But, it's a little controversial because we have a form in the spiritual world. So we serve the Lord in a certain form in the spiritual world. And then we come to this material world. So Swarup Siddhi means to understand who we are in the spiritual world. What, am I a gopa or a cow or a gopi or whatever? So that Swarup Siddhi means so if we are never in the spiritual world, then we don't have a form in the spiritual world, right? We don't serve Krishna in the spiritual world in any form. So that's also a little bit difficult to understand. But anyway, we don't delve too much into it, where we came from, and this is not more important, Prabhupada said. Since the Lord is the origin of both Paramatma and Brahman, he is the origin of all living entities and all else that exists. So anybody knows that verse, that Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan? Vadanti tat tattvavidas. Tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti.
ब्रह्मेति परमात्मी ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति शब्दित
Bhagavan iti
भगवान
shabd.
इति शब्दित.
So there are three stages in which absolute truth is realized. And Bhagavan realization includes both Paramatma and Brahman. So Bhagavan realization has which features of the absolute truth? Karuna Mataji. Which features of absolute truth?
Satchit Ananda, Prabhuji, three features.
And Brahman has which aspect of them?
Sat.
And Paramatma has
Chit.
Sat and Chit.
Sat and Chit.
Okay. So Krishna is the origin of both Paramatma and Brahman. Paramatma is what in this world? What is that Vishnu called? Paramatma. Kanchan. What is it? Paramatma. Which form of Vishnu is that?
Shirodakshay Vishnu.
So Shirodakshay Vishnu is coming from who?
Garvodakshay Vishnu.
Garvodakshay Vishnu is coming from
Mahavishnu.
And Mahavishnu is coming from
Krishna.
Yeah, the Chaturvyuha, like that. So ultimately it comes from
From
Krishna.
Krishna, yeah.
So the Paramatma is coming from Krishna, Shirodakshay Vishnu. And Brahman is the all-pervading effulgence that is there. So he is origin of both.
So Prabhu, Mahavishnu is coming all four views, that Pradyuman, Anirudh, Sankarshan, or is just only from one of them?
Sankarshan, I think.
Sankarshan.
The Mahavishnu is coming.
Yeah.
So there are two Chaturvyu expansions, like the first Chaturvyu and the second Chaturvyu. I have a chart, I will share that. Find it. I have it somewhere. So yeah, so Paramatma is Shirodakshai Vishnu, but that Paramatma is an expansion of an expansion of an expansion of Krishna. So everything is coming from Krishna. After all the incarnations are described, then does anybody know what is the Paribhasha Sutra of the Bhagavatam? Paribhash means defining. Paribhasha, right? We have in Hindi, Paribhasha.
Definition.
Paribhasha means definition. So what is the Paribhasha Sutra of the Bhagavatam?
Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam.
Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. Yes. What is that? Ete chansha kala pumsam
Pumsa.
Krishnastu Bhagwan
Bhagwan
Swayam.
Swayam.
Indrani
Dari
Muni.
Vyakulam Loke.
Yeah.
Mridayanti Yuge.
Vridanti
That
Yuge.
is considered the Paribhasha Sutra. It is the Paribhasha means the defining verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So all the incarnations are described, and then because in India there is confusion, right? Whether Krishna is incarnation of Vishnu or Krishna or Vishnu is an incarnation of Krishna. Mostly people think Krishna is an incarnation of Vishnu.
Version of Vishnu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
They are taught
But
like this, Prabhu. Like Krishna's incarnation of
correct.
Vishnu.
But we know
Like Ram.
Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and Shirodakshay Vishnu, they all come from Krishna.
Right.
So in the
Right.
chapter, yeah, which chapter of Bhagavatam says Krishna is the source of all incarnations? Which canto, which chapter? You know?
Second canto.
Second canto, about incarnations, one chapter is there, na Prabhuji?
It's actually
Scheduled
first canto.
incarnations.
First canto,
First
third chapter.
canto's
Third
first
chapter.
canto, second, oh, it's third chapter.
Yes. First canto, third chapter. The chapter is only entitled Krishna is the source of all incarnations. The title of that chapter is Krishna is the source of all incarnations. In that only this verse is coming. Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. So Krishna is the origin. And in Bhagavad Gita also he says, right? He's the source of Brahman. In the which chapter is it? 14th chapter. Brahmano hi pratishta aham. In the 14th chapter, Krishna says, I am the source of Brahman. I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. And everything comes from me. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravardha. Like that he says. Paramatma is the expansion of Krishna, but yeah, he's saying that I am situated as Paramatma in everybody's heart. So he's the origin of all living entities and all else that exists. So the source is Krishna. And who is the source of Krishna?
No one, Prabhuji, is
Huh?
he is the origin of everything. No one is the source of Krishna.
Oh, okay. He has no source. How can something not have any source? What do you think? It's possible? Everything has a source, right? How can Krishna not have source?
He's Adi. Krishna is Adi.
Adi.
Which
Okay.
has no beginning and no
No
end.
ending.
But normally we would think everything is caused by something.
He's the causes of all causes.
But who caused Krishna?
Nobody.
Krishna was already there, so
Yeah,
who was there? I mean, nothing was there, but Krishna is there.
Okay.
Everything come from Krishna. I mean, scriptures are not saying that is there any source of Krishna.
Yeah.
We believe on scriptures.
Because if we say something else is the source of Krishna, then Krishna will not be God.
God.
That source will be God. Then you can say, oh, but this caused Krishna, this source caused Krishna. So what caused that source? You can infinitely ask this question, right? Every time you come something, you say, what is the source of this? What is the source of this? What is the source of this? You can go back and ultimately where it should end. Somewhere it has to end, right? So, so it ends with Krishna. So that is why. Otherwise, if we go infinitely back, asking who is the source, who is the source, who is the source, then we will not be there, because we can go back infinitely and then there'll be no cause created from that. So because we are existing, there must be a finite source where it all ends, and that is Krishna. So Brahma Samhita says that, right?
Ishvara Param Krishna, Satchidananda,
Satchidananda Vigraha.
Radhe Radhe,
Anadiradi Govinda Sarva
Sarva
Karana.
Karana Karana.
So these important verses we should memorize. Since the Lord is the origin of both Paramatma and Brahman, He is the origin of all living entities and all else that exists. One who knows this engages himself at once in devotional service of the Lord. So one who knows, Krishna says, one who knows my nature, that I am the Lord of everything, they will surrender to me. In the Bhagavad Gita, like, Krishna is so great. Krishna is, if I surrender to Him, I'll be fully protected. When all the assurance is, when you have faith in all Krishna's words, then what will you do? You will surrender to Krishna. Normally, we don't surrender because we think, if I surrender, then what will happen? Yeah, we have some lack of faith, little bit somewhere. This may not be fully surrendered. Of course, you all are, but I'm just saying, generally, anybody. So, fully surrendered means they have complete faith in Krishna. Krishna will protect me. Krishna will maintain me. I don't have to worry. And how He will do it, we cannot understand. Logically, we may think how it is possible. Krishna will save me. Krishna will protect me. So, but we see in the life of Prabhupada. So, one who knows Krishna's position as Supreme Lord, and he gives promises also in the Bhagavad Gita. But the faith has to be there, right? The pure devotee has that faith, complete faith in Krishna. So he simply engages himself in devotional service. And then the Lord will take care. Any verse like that where Krishna says, I will take care of you if you simply engage in my service.
Ananyas Chintayantu Mam.
Ananyas Chintayantu Mam, Ye Jana Pariyupasite,
Namaste.
Tesham Nityam.
Answer.
So how to develop this faith? So we can take baby steps, like as we became Krishna conscious. Isn't our life has become more and more better and wonderful, and Krishna is taking care of us. We are feeling, we may not have everything that we need, because what we need, what we want is not always good. But Krishna has given us a nice situation. So this is all mercy of Krishna. Now you may say, well, there are many others who are not Krishna conscious. They are also having a nice situation. So how is it that Krishna has given me this situation? What is the answer to that? Because other people also, they are not Krishna conscious, but they have a nice situation. Material situation. What do you think?
I think like because they are under the karma and whatever they have in their previous life, they have pious karma and impious karma. According to them, they are getting the results in this lifetime. But for the devotee, Krishna acts differently. Like we cannot say that in the devotees are also in the case sometimes distress and happiness, but internally their consciousness is different. So and also for them, that if the karma, the pious and good and bad deeds over, then again, whatever the results they acquired and they get the results again. But for the devotees, like Krishna gives the intelligence, understanding that, and next life will be much better, that they can go back to Krishna or whatever the so bhakti never spoils eternal credit.
So devotee is internally very happy.
Mhm.
You can say like that, because materialist people may have a lot of things externally, but they may not be internally happy. But devotee is very internally very happy. Even though he may not have materially speaking, very nice situation. But that happiness is the proof that Krishna consciousness works ultimately. So, um, so when we are internally satisfied and happy, that's like that's the mercy of Krishna on us. Okay, so since the Lord is the origin of both Paramatma and Brahman, He is the origin of all living entities and all else that exists. One who knows this engages himself at once in the devotional service of the Lord. Such a pure and fully cognizant devotee of the Lord is fully attached to Him in heart and soul. So there is a lot of love between the devotee and the Lord. And whenever such a devotee assembles with similar devotees, they have no engagement but the glorification of the Lord's transcendental activities. Like those who are cricket fans, right? When they come together, they talk about cricket and they can talk about cricket. Those who are Donald Trump fans, right? They will talk about Donald Trump. So similarly, those who are fans of the Lord, when they come together, they talk about the Lord. They like whatever your common interest is. So that's why sometimes devotees can't mingle with non-devotees because there is no common thing to talk about. What are they going to talk about? The non-devotees might want to talk about politics and so many things, right? But the devotees, they don't want to, they're not interested in these things. So that's why sometimes you lose friends when you become devotees. Previously, you may have had some friends, but now they are not, you don't have any common interest to talk. They want to talk about film stars and things like that, and you don't think that is important. So you may lose some friends. So when devotees come together, they glorify the Lord. They engage in discussion of the Lord's activities. Machita madgata prana
Bodhayanta.
उदयन्तः परस्परं
kathayantasya
Atyantasya.
तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च
Dusyanti charamanti cha. That Krishna says that they talk about me. Or even if we don't have love, then we want to develop love. So then we have to go in the association of those devotees who have love for the Lord and sit in that association. Just sit and hear all the devotees, they are talking about the Lord. And by this hearing those discussions also, we will become interested. So either way, whether you have no interest, but you want to develop an interest, then go into places where devotees are glorifying the Lord, then you will get some interest. So those who are not as perfect as the pure devotees, namely those who have realized only the Brahman or Paramatma features of the Lord, cannot appreciate the activities of perfect devotees. So the Gyanis and Yogis may not be able to appreciate the activities of Bhaktas. The Lord always helps the pure devotees by imparting necessary knowledge within their hearts. So there are this Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, right? I think Prabhupada is referring to that. It starts with, what is Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita? Starts with first verse of Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. Huh?
Aham sarvasya prabhu
Prabhu,
sarvam pravarti iti mam bhajante mam
iti
buddha
matva bhajante mam,
yeah
buddha
buddha
bhavasa.
mam samanvita.
I am the source of all.
Yeah, I'm the source of all spiritual world and material world. Everything emanates from him, and those who perfectly know this and they engage into the devotional service with all their heart.
So that is called Sambandha Gyan.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is Sambandha Gyan. Sambandha means knowledge of your relationship with the Lord. Then after that is what? Then after Sambandha, then what will you do? When you get married, right? Then Sambandha is established, right? Then what will happen after that? There is?
Yeah, there's three things I forgot it.
Abhidaya.
Abhidaya. So the service will happen.
Service,
Once, yeah. Before you had any Sambandha with your husband, right? Because I'm talking to all the ladies here. There was no service to that person before you got married, right? But as soon as marriage was done, then you start serving your husband, right? So then there is Abhidaya. So when you know Krishna is the Supreme Lord, then the next step is Abhideya. You serve him. How you talk about him. Talking is also service. You do Shravanam Kirtanam, Machita Matkata Prana, Bodhayanta Parasparam. That is Abhideya. You start. Then after you do that, then what, Krishna?
Prayojan.
Prayojan.
Krishna also reciprocates.
Right.
So the next two verses are reciprocation from Krishna. Of course, the first part of 10.10, Tesham Satata Yuktanam, Bhajatam Priti Purvakam, Badami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mahu. So Krishna also, you do service, and Krishna reciprocates by giving you buddhi. So Prabhupada said, if you chant Hare Krishna, all answers will come from within. So Krishna will give all the buddhi in the heart when you engage in devotional service. So then next verse also he says, Tesham
Evanukam Partha.
Devanukam
Aham
Partha
Agrajam.
Aham Ajnanajam
Navashyami Atma Bhavastha Stho
Jnana
Jnana
Dipena
Dipena
Bhaswar.
Bhavastha.
Yeah. So Krishna then says, I light the lamp of knowledge in their heart. And then, so this is Prabhupada is saying here that the Lord always helps the pure devotees by imparting necessary knowledge within their hearts. So Krishna will give us the intelligence from within, how to come to him, what we should do, what we should not do in all situations of life. If we really want to approach Krishna, then Krishna will give us all the intelligence from within. And thus, out of his special favor, he dissipates all darkness of ignorance. That is, Prabhupada is referring to that 10.11 verse. The speculative philosophers and yogis cannot imagine this because they more or less depend on their own strength. So yogis are doing yam, niyam, asan, pranayam. They are only doing by their own strength. Whereas in Bhakti Yoga, from the beginning, there is the mercy of Krishna. So they cannot understand. That's what Prabhupada is saying. As stated in Katha Upanishad, the Lord can be known only by those whom he favors. That is the verse. Nayam atma pravachinana labhyo na medhaya na bahuna shrutena. That verse, that Lord cannot be known by discourses, giving discourses and all these things. The Lord can be known only by one to whom he did. Huh?
Yeah, same. He pull up by his. He want to show himself.
Show himself, yes.
Yeah.
And when will he show himself? When we are eager to know him, and also when we have done something that the Lord likes. So what we have done in his service, if we love him, then he will show himself to us. To others, Krishna says, I am not revealed because they are not interested in me. Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samavrita. Mudoham nabhijanati lokoma ajam avyayam. In the Bhagavad Gita, it says, I am not revealed to anybody and everybody because I am covered. And that is perfectly in accordance with what we want. Krishna is reciprocating. If we don't want to know him, then Krishna doesn't reveal himself also. So the more we want to know him, the more we have desire. There Prabhupada tells the story of a thief, right? Who heard in one Bhagavad Katha that Krishna is wearing so many ornaments and jewels and pearls, necklaces and things like that. So he thought, and where is this Krishna? He's in Vrindavan. So he heard in Bhagavad Katha. So he thought, I should rob Krishna. I will rob Krishna. I'll take all his jewelry. And this may be my last act of robbery because I'll get so much money. I don't need to rob again. So with that intention, he went to Vrindavan. But in his heart, he had a very, very strong desire to meet Krishna. So everything is based on desire. So Krishna actually came. And then the thief started taking out all the jewels. And then Krishna said, no, my mother will be angry at me or something like that, he said. And then the thief ultimately became a devotee. So even for the wrong reasons, if you have strong desire to connect with Krishna, like Dhruva Maharaj wanted to see Krishna, but for a material desire. but he had a very intense desire, right? Intensity of desire. So, but now we know that we should not see Krishna for the wrong reasons. But even if we have that, still Krishna may show himself to us, like he showed to Dhruva Maharaj. Although his desire was to get name and fame, but Krishna showed himself. So that's why it says Akama Sarva Kamava, Akama Sarva Kamava, Moksha Kama Udaradi,
Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajit
the Purusha Param. Yeah, it says whether you have all material desires, you still worship Krishna with great intensity, Tivra. So then it will be good. Then you lose your material desires, as Dhruva Maharaj did. So, yeah, so we have to have in our heart also, we have to have a strong desire for spiritual advancement. Everything is based on desire. So, like when our office will call us at 6 o'clock in the morning, then we will go. Why? Because we have strong desire to have our job, to do our job nicely. So we have strong desire, even at 6 o'clock in the morning. But if somebody says, no, no, you come to Mangala Aarti tomorrow, then we may not have that desire because it is like, okay, we think, okay, that's not so relevant. So we have to increase our desire. I'm saying this for myself also. Like, so we have to increase the desire to get Krishna. So tatra laulyam api mulyam ekalam. So that greed, if we have that somehow or other, I want to make spiritual advancement, then we'll make, when we have that strong desire, yes, I want to purify my heart, very strong desire. I want to purify my heart from all the contaminations. So I will adopt the means to purify my heart, and that is chanting the holy name. So, and I will chant very attentively because I really want Krishna Prem. I really want to purify my heart. So when you really, really want something, then you are really very focused. So that's the difference between a regular devotee and a very advanced devotee, is that advanced devotee has very intense, like Prabhupada, he has very intense desire. So we have to increase that intensity of our desire. Sometimes we say like fired up, right? Fired up. Fired up means very enthusiastic to get Krishna, to please Krishna. So we have to become fired up. So we are all, and we can associate with those who are fired up. Then we'll become fired up. Because that whole environment will surcharge us. So where there is a community of devotees, where everybody is, that's how people were joining in the beginning, right? In the ISKCON movement, because everybody was like so fired up. They were doing Sankirtan, they were doing like so many services, and everybody was fired up. So that whole environment attracted others to also be part of it. So we have to create, wherever we are, we have to create a community where we have fired up devotees. So, like that. Okay. Because complacency is complacency will kill our desire, right? Complacency and laziness and all this. So we have to be enthusiastic. Complacency, I'm not talking about physical activity, but that can be also there, physical service, but in our heart, that desire has to be so we have to make that desire very strong. So the Lord always helps the pure devotees. That's why we read Prabhupada's books, because we are associating with his Vani through the books of Prabhupada. And Prabhupada is so enthusiastic. At 69 years of age, he came alone to spread Krishna. Before that also, he was trying his best to serve by distributing Back to Godhead magazine. He was printing the Back to Godhead magazine. He was procuring the paper, which was also very difficult at that time. He was getting money for the publication and everything he was doing. He was printing, and so we can see how enthusiastic he was. So we can become enthusiastic like that. Because anyway, life is going to end at some point, right? Whatever we have done in the service of the Lord is what is going to count at the end of life. So, so the time is now, right? We say the time is now. We don't think about the future. Time is now too. Because life can end at any time. So the Lord always helps the pure devotees by imparting necessary knowledge within their hearts, and thus out of his special favor. So Krishna will also inspire us from within our heart to do so many services and like that. He dissipates all the darkness of ignorance. The speculative philosophers and yogis cannot imagine this because they more or less depend on their own strength. Okay. Lord can be known by only those whom he favors, not by anyone else. Such special favors are bestowed upon his pure devotees only. Yes. So those who are pure devotees, then Krishna is fully gives himself. Sri Ishopanishad thus points to the favor of the Lord, which is beyond the purview of Brahma Jyoti. Because the Lord is a person behind the Brahma Jyoti, and he can reciprocate with your desires. Okay, so that is the verse number 16. So any comments on this verse?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says that Prabhupada writes that the special favor is only for the pure devotees.
So special favors.
Yeah.
Lord
So,
can be known only by those whom he favors,
mhm.
and not by anyone else. Yes.
And says that the such special favors are bestowed upon his pure devotees only. I mean, that statement, like we say that, I mean, if Krishna is not favoring, is not giving mercy, then how can one take up the bhakti? So the only favor by his pure devotee, and even the pure devotion also not coming without his mercy. And we say that Krishna is ahetukiya pratiheta, right? Sorry, I mean his causeless mercy, talking about the causeless mercy. So
No, the one we are doing is without the devotional service when the devotee does without any motivation. That is
yeah,
ahetuki.
that's I'm sorry, that's a different thing.
Mhm.
But we can say that the Krishna's mercy on everyone is not on just like special mercy on only on the pure devotees.
Yeah, he reveals based on our surrender. Yatha mam prapadyate, tans tatheva bhajami.
And he's like talking, Prabhupada is talking about like revealing himself. Krishna reveals himself to the such pure devotees.
Yeah, based on
I
your
think so.
surrender to that degree, he
Yeah.
reveals. So in the Bhagavad Gita also there is that verse, right? Bhaktyastvananya shakya aham evam vido arjuna gyatum drashtum cha tattvena praveshtum cha parantapa. Krishna says only those who, which verse is that? Let's see. So, yeah, he reveals, but 1154. Ananyaya Shakya. Actually, Bhaktyatvananyaya Shakya. Shakya means it's possible. Ashakya and Shakya. Shakya. It's possible to know Krishna. Aham evam vido Arjuna. Aham means I. O Arjuna, it is only possible to know me by unalloyed devotion. Unalloyed means ananyaya, without no other. Gyatum drashtum cha tattvena praveshtum cha parantapa. Then one will know Krishna in truth. And praveshtum cha parantapa. So tatvena means in truth or fact. So Krishna will be known fully. Mixed devotees means, yeah, little bit we know Krishna. But pure devotees means they get the full. My dear Arjun, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am. standing before you and can be thus seen directly. Only in this way you can enter. But Krishna wants to help everybody. It's not like mixed devotees, so he wants to help everybody to come to the stage of pure devotion. So here he helps. See, there are two aspects. One is Krishna's help and one is our desire also. So our desire and our so mm, if we want to yeah, go ahead.
I mean, both ways, both things goes together, right? It says that we cannot be a pure devotee by own strength, by own endeavor, and then Krishna favors the mercy. I mean, it's all goes simultaneously, right?
Yeah.
Then Krishna's mercy is there, and our determination, our desire is there, and then Krishna favors and give the intelligence that this path you have to follow, or this way you can come to my understanding. So yeah, that's what I was thinking, that one cannot be a pure devotee just by own endeavor. So these both things go together, his mercy and our endeavor.
Yeah, that we in Damodar Lila we say it is our desire and Krishna's mercy, our determination and Krishna's mercy. That will bind Krishna. Yeah. So, but we have to do our part. We cannot force Krishna to do his part. He will do when he likes, but we can do our part. So that is why what is in our hand is the desire, right? That we have. So then, of course, you may say, well, I have anarthas in my heart. I am also not capable of removing these anarthas myself, right? We know that, right? We have conditioning, and I want to remove that conditioning, but I am not able to remove that conditioning. But how much I want myself to be removed from the conditioning, that desire, and accordingly we can pray. How intense is your prayer to Krishna, and how much you desire. Like I'm an alcoholic, but I don't want to be, I don't know, I don't have strong desire to get out of alcohol, drinking alcohol. So I stick around with friends who are also drinking alcohol. And of course, now you may say, well, I'm helpless. I'm drawn into their company. What can I do? Yeah, that is there. Yeah. But when you really try, even if you fail, Krishna is seeing that you are really trying very hard. And then Krishna will, like Yashoda was trying very, very hard. From her side, she was doing her best. So we have to do our best. Then Krishna will give. Otherwise, also Krishna is Swarat, he can give mercy to anybody. But when we are really also wanting to change our consciousness, and we are really desiring, we are praying to Krishna, like they say, like beggar who begs very much, may get some charity. But some beggar who is not even showing his bowl for charity. So internally, if we are not even asking Krishna, we are not even desiring, then that is like we say, baby is crying, right? Mother is not paying attention. But when the baby cries very much loudly, then mother says, oh, what happened? What happened? Let me see. So that crying means when we cry from our heart to be Krishna, I really, really want to become free from all these things. And I really want you. That's the cry of the jiva. As Gaur Govind Swami says, we have opened a crying school. So we can cry. That is the cry of a sadhaka. Krishna, please save me. Krishna, please help me. So that is in our hand, how much we will cry for Krishna. So that's, and then Krishna will help. So the more we cry, the more Krishna will. And of course, we don't cry we really mean it also from our heart. Then it will work. I'm telling this to myself also, right? So when we really, really want it from the deep, because we offer so many prayers. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagdishishakamaye, Mama Janmani Janmani Ishware Bhavatad Bhakti Rahetu Ki Tvahi. I don't want this, I don't want this. But we may not internally be aligned with the prayer. So Krishna also says, yeah, you are speaking all this, but that is also good. At least we say if we don't have desire, then we should have a desire to have a desire. If we don't have a desire to have a desire, then we should have a desire to have a desire to have a desire. At some level we can desire. So we can pray from our heart at whatever level we are. So that is our part. And then Krishna's part is his part. So, but we say, like, pray as if everything depends on the Lord and do as if everything depends on you. So if there is a festival, right, like Janmashtami we are doing, then we have to do as if everything depends on me. If I make the arrangement nicely, of course, we don't have to be puffed up that I did everything, no, but we have to do it as if I don't organize the festival nicely and schedule it properly, and then there'll be not prasadam and everything we have to plan, right? And if I don't cook, or if you have that service, then I have to give my full heart in it. And whether then it comes out good or not, it's not up to me. I did my best. So they say, try your best and leave the rest to Krishna. But we have to do our best because Krishna knows whether we are doing our best or not. And sometimes people do best for material life, but not best for their spiritual life. So then Krishna can see also, yeah, he's because we can't cheat Krishna, right? He knows in our heart what is there. Um, so that way also we can take it. So yeah, but here is such special favors are bestowed upon his pure devotees only. Means he reveals himself. But it's not like 1 or 0. He reveals according to the ye yatha mam prapadyante tan sateva. So he will give some guidance, but when we become completely pure, we really want, then Krishna will do more. So that is. And then one day we will become anyabhilashita shunyam. We only want service of Krishna, nothing else. No other personal desire for enjoyment, only Krishna's service. So that is what Prabhupada wants us to become. Prabhupada says in the Bhagavad Gita, if one man becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, we'll consider our mission a success. So Prabhupada came to teach pure devotional service, how to practice pure devotional service, and how to become pure devotees. That's the. Now, how much time it will take will depend on how much we want to become, how much conditioned we are, and so many things. How we are taking the mercy. So, and ultimately, when you get taste, see, it's all about happiness and taste. So, when we get taste, then we are naturally drawn irresistibly. Just like material enjoyment, our mind irresistibly is drawn to material enjoyment. We don't even have to. If there is nice prasadam, right? Of course, that's spiritual also prasadam, but if there is nice food, then on irresistibly we are drawn to eating first once, twice, second, third, 4 times. Irresistibly drawn. So when we get taste in bhakti, then it will be irresistibly drawn to it. But it doesn't come so easy, that taste, right? That is the problem. Because we are conditioned and we are not doing that much effort. So it takes time also. But we have some taste, right? That's why we are doing. Every day we are chanting holy name. And sometimes, whether taste or no taste, it is good for me, so I do it. So that is also, we can think like that. Okay, enough said. And anybody like to? Otherwise, we'll stop here. Any other comments? So Bhakti Shastri also is like we are learning, we are reading Prabhupada's, but it's also meant to inspire us to have transformation of heart. That's how I see it. So by reading all these things, and it's ultimately meant to bring about a change of our consciousness. That is why we are reading Prabhupada's purports and books. Okay, so slowly and gradually it will happen. So anything you would like to say? Otherwise, we'll end here. Anything? Karuna Mataji usually has a question.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Yeah. Here, like Prabhupada has written one statement regarding yogis and then speculative philosophers. I'm trying to understand that yogis and philosophers they don't surrender to Krishna, Prabhuji. So here, like Prabhupada mentioned that they depend on their own strength. So that statement, I'm trying to understand. Like it means. They have that sense of like false ego, and they are not considering the supremacy of Krishna. That means they are not surrendered to Krishna. Is that my understanding is right, Prabhuji?
Yeah, somebody want to say something? I can say, but somebody want to say anything. So in that, yeah, controlling the senses. Yeah, Preeti, you want to say something?
No, yeah, it's like he says that the philosophers and Gyani, because they do some yoga, right? The yogis, they are doing yam, niyam, asana. There are so many things. They are controlling the senses. They are controlling their breaths. So they're thinking that that's if I control my senses, and that's how I can enter into I mean, I can achieve, which is higher, like Paramatma no thing, right, Prabhuji? And they have their own, they're thinking that by my own endeavor, I can achieve the Lord. And the speculative knowledge is philosophers are like, they are, I think they are the yogis, like who is differentiating the material and spiritual, right? And this is material, so I don't want this, I don't want this, and then they come to the conclusion of that there's something spiritual and I have to enter in that. So they are using their own brain or physical strength to achieve that spiritual realm. But bhakti yogi, what they do, they know that, oh, this is, you say that there is a ladder, bhakti yoga is on the topmost. It is like that you are sitting in an elevator and you reached at your main destination. So they are just the bhakti yogis are depending on Krishna, that everything come from Krishna, this is the highest thing. And how they are meditating on the mantra, and through that mantra they are controlling their mind and controlling their senses. Instead they skip the process of Ashtanga yoga. They skip that process of yam, niyam, asana, all these things. That's my understanding, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so they are relying on their own abilities because they are not directly connecting with the Lord. Whereas in Bhakti Yoga, you directly connect with the Lord in the beginning itself through Shravanam Kirtanam. So you get the mercy of the Lord. So while you make your endeavor, but you also have the mercy of the Lord. So that is, but in that yogic process, you have to, sit in a proper posture. You have to, of course, all the abilities come from Krishna only. Ultimately, anybody who has something, we say it all comes from Krishna. But they have to control their senses because there is no taste in the beginning. So many yogis, they're meditating, so they may not get reciprocation from the Lord and they may deviate from the path. Whereas devotees, because they are serving, Krishna protects them also. So, so they are depending on their own strength.
Prabhuji, I have one question. So what about materialistic philosophers? So there, for them, there is no concept of Brahma Jyoti. There is no concept of the existence of God, or like some invisible energy. So why should they believe God? And why should they surrender before knowing Him?
Yeah, that's why they don't surrender.
So does Krishna help them in any way?
Krishna is helping everybody by, see, we are in the material world. The situation is we are going through birth, death, old age, disease. So these miseries are basically pushing us towards Krishna. But if we are intelligent enough, then we will approach Krishna, because miserable situation pushes you towards, um, you know, so Krishna is helping in every way, like he's trying to get us back to him. So whether you're, for devotees especially, yeah, he helps, and for others through, the way the material world is set up. Like this is prison, right? And in prison, he's helping to help them reform their character. Because they're made to work hard, and so they start thinking, okay, why am I in the prison? I should be outside, actually. So maybe in that way, he's helping. So Krishna wants to help everybody. Hmm. But yeah, it depends on how much we will take his help. And the devotees also go, and then Krishna sends devotees in the life of, like we before we came to Krishna consciousness, we were not so much knowing all these things, but some devotee gave us a book, or some devotee invited us to a program. So Krishna sends devotees also. That way also is helping. I don't know about you, but many of others, like I've met other devotees who are very materialistic, but they met devotees either in their distress or some way, and then they became inclined to bhakti. So Krishna helped them by sending devotees in their life. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji, that answers. So that could be, so the pains and the sufferings is a help from his side. And
Yeah. Krishna says Chaturvida Bhajantim. Yeah, if you have Sukruti, then like we in English, we say there are no atheists in foxhole. There are no atheists in a foxhole. Foxhole means you hide inside the ground when there are bombs dropping and like that. So when your life is in danger, because everybody ultimately is a devotee of God. So then, but not always, some atheists are very hardcore atheists, so they don't even, till the very fag end of their life, they don't accept. That is also there. But at some point in another life, maybe in future, ultimately everybody will go back home, back to Godhead. Everybody will go back home, back to God. But it's a matter of how much time it will take, how much time we have to struggle in this world before we go back home, right? So ultimately everybody will go back, but it may be millions of years. We can be in the material world and going through the,
yes.
yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, and you're joining from where, Kunal?
Prabhuji, I'm Kunal's wife
Okay,
from Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Okay. All right. So anything else? Go ahead. Somebody. Kanchan wants to say something.
No, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay, and then we'll stop here. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Prabhuji.